Welcome to Entrepreneur Life with me, Joel Campbell. I'm an entrepreneur and you are in for a real treat. Hey, Delaney. So Delaney is here. It's a special day because today I am taking full advantage of CEO status. So we have a production on at Shrewsbury Prison. It's a decent sized production. There's quite a lot going on. It's quite busy. They're actually on their last day of filming, so they've got quite a lot to get through today. But it's a full on set, as you'd expect, as you'd imagine. Now, my daughter Delaney, who is 12, is madly into drama and dance and singing and acting and basically wants to be an actor. So that is her goal. She's already started looking at drama schools, haven't you? You've already planned like when you're leaving home, when you're going to go on board, at which drama school, at which point, and where she's going to go. She's mapped out the whole thing. So I thought, there's a production here. What a great opportunity to take Delaney down and show her what a professional production looks like, what a filming set looks like, what the actors look like, the makeup trailers, the catering, everything that kind of comes with it, basically. So I've asked the team and they have hooked us up with a behind the scenes tour of the production. So I've just chatted to with the lovely crew down there. And that's the lady we're going to meet, Delaney, in the green jacket. So I've just spoken to them. They're going to take us for a wander around so Delaney can get to see this. So I've definitely executed CEO status. Unfortunately, I can't take you with us because it's a closed set. But there she is. So Delaney's just having a look out the window. You're going to say hello? So I'm going to go down and we're going to go do that now. So, and I'll continue the episode afterwards. So went round and met the production, met the producer. She was really cool. She explained loads of different bits to Delaney and took her through call sheets and stuff like that. Met one of the actors, that was quite cool. And just kind of watched some of the filming basically as it unfolded. And then we went and had a look behind the scenes in terms of like the dressing rooms, the makeup spaces, where the essays are and so on and so forth. And now Delaney is now set here at work because she's got work to do. You're working, right? Okay, cool. I'm just checking, not watching YouTube videos. So she is now working. So home ed life is fully going. I've got to jump into a meeting. So she'll continue working in my office and I will be just out here, basically just in the meeting space, having a meeting there. And I think we'll probably swap at 11 o'clock because Delaney then has got lessons. So she'll go out into the meeting room to do her lessons and I'll come back into my office so I can make calls and do the bits I need to do. So by and large, nice start to the day. Really interesting things. Chatting to the production about like what we want to do with the prison and how we want to develop it and changes and stuff and creating the hotel rooms and things. And they were like, if you had hotel rooms here, we would absolutely have stayed here, taken all of them for the entire journey. So yeah, definitely on to a win there. So just need to get it bloody happening now. So that's back to my next task. Hello, it's Sunday. It's about 10:30. That's 11:15. 6:15. In the morning, I'm just going to crack on and get a few hours of work done. It has been a really, sorry, I was with the dogs. It's been a really good week in terms of loads of real positives that happened. And I don't feel like I've done a video to quite explain the implications of all the things that have happened this week and all the positivity that's happened now. I'm going to do that. That's not right now. I'm going to do that shortly. Right now, I'm going to actually sit down. I've got a few bits of work I really need to get through today because other people are on deadline and they're waiting for me. Shut the doors. They're waiting for me to finish off so they can finish off what they're doing to meet their deadline. They got deadlines of tomorrow as well. So I'm just going to crack on, do that little bit of work quickly. And then I'm going to come back and do some more videos today. And I'm going to try and do quite a few videos because there's something quite cool up there on the wall that I'd like to share with you guys. So let me crack on. I'll be back in a few hours and we'll go from there. Good morning. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Why am I up so early? Well, today we are going to go and collect keys for a property that we purchased on Friday last week. More on that in a second. But more importantly, the reason why I'm doing this video, and I'm just going to make a cup of tea as I do the video, so you'll have to bear with me. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because yesterday, which was Sunday, I did say that I would finish the video talking about my week last week because there was some epic things that happened last week and some absolute huge, moves and changes to what we're currently doing. Apologies about the state of my kitchen behind me. We actually live in a proper doer-upper, which we haven't done a upper of anything. So there's still a lot of work to do in my house, so that's why it looks a bit of a state behind me. Anyway, it looks like it just comes straight out of the 80s because effectively it has. Anyway, last week, so few big things that happened last week that I just want to cover to round this video off. First thing is we got a brand new senior marketing manager. So it is a role that I would say is slotted in between the marketing manager level of a lot of the do and the marketing director level, which is just ultimate strategy. I would say the person that we've employed is probably the marketing director. Certainly working at that level, I would imagine. I've got to be careful what I say because I'll get in trouble here. They're not the marketing director, but I think there's aspirations and expectations that, you know, that's the role that the company and the individual will grow into, which I think works out really, really well for all of us. Just gonna get some milk. Well, actually, you can still hear me, so I can still continue to talk. I do apologise, you just can't see me. So that's really, really positive. Now, I spoke a little bit in my previous video all about the marketing director and the handover. So if you haven't heard, I'm just calling him the marketing director. If you haven't listened to that video, go and listen to that video. That talks all about last week. I did that video in a day, basically, all around taking a new person on, doing the handover, and how that's all gone effectively. Super well, so much better than I expected. I popped my head on Friday afternoon before I left for the day, just to say, hey, how's things? Do you need anything? And it's just lovely, really, really nice conversation to have. They're super, they just get it. They just understand it from start to finish. So I was really, really pleased with that, really impressed. And I feel really confident that they got control and a handle on everything we're doing marketing-wise, certainly in the current business setup. Which brings me on to another video I'm going to shoot in a second, which is the Cove Group video that I've been meaning to shoot for like a month, maybe even longer. And I've just been trying to position myself for it. So that I'm going to try and shoot in a second if I can. So that was the first thing that happened, was the marketing. The second thing that happened was we bought a building. Very, very randomly, we have started our property development company. Now, I say it like that because technically, I guess we already sort of have a property development company because we have it inside what we do in the prisons. But this is a completely separate building, somewhere completely different, doing something completely different. So therefore, we've now started that journey and we completed on that purchase on Friday. Today, I go pick up the keys, and like I say, more on that in the upcoming episode because I'm going to film all of that today as we go. So that was really cool. Third thing we did was the structure of the senior management team, the structure of the director team, and the structure's just flowing down. I spent a fair bit of time with Jeff. He went through how he wanted to pull certain roles together, certain different, I guess that's it, certain roles together effectively, and how he wanted to just formulate the hierarchy of the staff and the organisation from his perspective in terms of what he was doing. So we spent a lot of time sort of just going over that and fine-tuning that. And he's put a lot of that already in place and a lot of the groundwork. And what that meant was he's gone away now for 3 weeks. He's on kind of a working holiday, but he's abroad and he is away for 3 weeks in total. So that's quite a long time for the COO, who's been in role since officially July, but unofficially beginning of June. So that's what, June, July, August, September, 4 months. And he's going away for 3 weeks. So we had a long conversation about the structure of how it's going to work when he's not physically there, and especially because the time zone difference is enough to make it a significant challenge, let's say. But I didn't want to get back involved. He didn't want me back involved. The team didn't want me back involved, not at the level I used to be. So therefore, we had to put a number of things in place to make sure that didn't happen, and to make sure I didn't get caught back up in that kind of washing machine of challenges, of issues, of just day-to-day running businesses, which he shouldn't really get caught up in. But at the level we're still operating at and the way we're still working, he does get dragged into that on occasion, but I don't at all. So the next 3 weeks, it was quite important to make sure there's enough systems and strategies and processes in place to make sure that I don't get dragged back into that. So I was really, really pleased that we got that together. The fourth thing was being able to utilize CEO privilege, which is something I don't really do or haven't really done, or just really haven't exercised in the past. Obviously, there's certain quirks and perks to being the CEO. Like, for example, when I go to the restaurant, everyone gets employee discounts and stuff like that. I get a slightly bigger discount. I've got my own button on the till, which means that I say I get a bigger discount. That's not quite right. What happens is I've got my own button on the till, so when I go down to the restaurant, they can use my button, which means I don't get physically charged at the time. It gets sorted out at the end of the month. So that's kind of a perk, I guess, in the sense I don't have to carry cash for me. That sounds like the bloody queen or the king. It's just something that's historic, I guess. And, obviously I've got a very nice office in, the top of the building and stuff like that. And there's obviously benefits, I guess, to being the CEO that naturally come with that role. Funny enough, those benefits are nothing to do with ownership. They're all to do with being the CEO. So if I wasn't CEO and somebody else was, I think they would still see all those benefits. So that's an interesting one, maybe for another day. But yeah, so I exercised CEO privilege by organising with a production to be able to take my daughter in to have a look. Now, I didn't actually organise it, and it's in this video before this, so I don't need to go through this again. So someone organised it for me, and it was brilliant. It was great. I think it was really, really good for her to be able to see the inner workings of a production. I think that was really interesting for her. She was really grateful for it. I know that she was. She sort of spoke to me afterwards and said how grateful she was for it. And I just think that's a really nice thing to be able to do. And it's a privilege that I have for the role I'm in, and something when we talk about how people are fortunate or they get a foot up or a leg up, or how their just circumstance makes their life easier. And there's a great analogy with that running race with that American teacher gets all of his students in a line, and he says to them, right, you're going to race for $100. It's $100 at the finish line, and I want you to take a step forward if you can answer. I think he says if you can answer yes to these questions. Both your parents are still together, and you've never had to worry about where your next meal is coming from. You've never had to worry about paying your mobile phone bill. You've never had to worry about security in terms of you've always had a roof over your head, and all these different things. And by the time he gets to the end of that, there's obviously a load of white people at the front and a load of black guys or a load of black people at the back, and it's just showing the difference. And that's kind of, I guess, where I'm going with this is that my kids do have certain advantages. I definitely had certain advantages in life, and I know lots of people that have different advantages in life, and I know lots of people have different disadvantages in life, and my kids certainly have some of those advantages. And one of those things is what I was able to do the other day, which is be able to take Delaney in and show her what a production looks like, and not just show her, but actually kind of hand off to the professionals in that world. So we got to speak to some of the location team who talked about like what they do, and then we just happened to bump into a producer. So the producer then went through like how the whole production works, and then she was brilliant. She went off and she got a call sheet, and she came back and she took Delaney through the call sheet and what it all means and what all the information is, and then took her through and could explain to her what was happening in the scene that was filming, what you could see on the camera, and what different people were doing. And it was just brilliant, and it's just such a good thing to be able to do, to understand that at a young age in an industry she wants to go into. But obviously most people don't get to see that. They don't get to see productions and professional, good scale productions. Can't tell you what it is, not at the moment, I will do one day, being filmed on set. So that was another really good thing last week, and like I say, definitely got me dad points, but I just think a really positive thing to be able to do for your children. And let's face it, if you can do it, everybody would. That's the reality. You're always going to try and give them as much as of a leg up as you can, basically. And the fifth thing was, and the final thing was, it was just a really, really nice week from my perspective in terms of getting into a good headspace, working at a different level in terms of what I was doing, not necessarily maybe the speed that I was working. So I'm still only probably churning in second gear. I kind of feel like I'm in at the moment. And that's because I don't need to be driving too hard or too fast. And as I said months ago, I wanted to develop into this role, not just catapult myself into it 1,000 miles an hour off I go. I wanted to just bed in a little bit slower, take a little bit more time, and really figure out what to do. And I've done that, and I'm about to put some stuff up onto a board which is really going to help, which I know exactly where I want to go now. And by coming in at a slightly slower pace, it's really helped me to formulate that, because I've had time and I've been able to really respond to kind of what's going on and have a look at it and formulate those ideas. And it's hard to do that at 1,000 miles an hour. Love working at 1,000 miles an hour, but it's hard to do that. So yeah, that was kind of the fifth thing, is just being in a really good place. So really good week, very happy about it. I'm gonna head off now because I did want to try and squeeze in another video, which I might have to do this evening, but we are obviously gonna go and pick up keys, so I'm gonna start that video literally straight away after this one. So this has been Entrepreneur Life. I hope you're enjoying it. Oh shit, I should never finish that. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, well, yeah, maybe it will do one day. Oh God, I'm waffling again. I do apologize, Paul. I do apologize to anybody who's listening and watching. That is kind of Entrepreneur Life, though. It just flows as it is. So this has been Entrepreneur Life with me, Joel Campbell, and I am an entrepreneur.